Good morning. Here on this great, lovely August morning where it's going to be about 114 degrees today in Arizona. I want to show you, this is my jig we have. It's a 10-foot by 4-foot jig that we can keep our walls straight. And here's our little jigs for when we do our tracks. We use these to keep the tracks straight. We just lay them down in the tracks, get our walls straight. And I want to show you my first. It's always rough when you first start a project, but these are our first walls. You can see the spacers are glued in. And I'll stand back. So there's our first steel window buck we got in there. We'll actually Tapcon that in with some 4-inch Tapcons, and on both sides with some washers just to add added support during pouring. And we'll stand back. So there's our walls, and we just glue this galvanized 2-inch stripping. We just glue it down. After we pull it out of the jig, we lay them down and we just do a thin bead of glue and lay a bar. After we flip it over, we lay a bar on it until it holds. And it's super stout, and it's just a cheap way to do it. The drywall screws go right through this, and it's nothing that's going to corrode or warp if it gets wet, if there's ever a flood in the house. This is all pretty pretty resistant to that. So anyway, that's the start of this ICF project. I just wanted to take a video to show you. We order in all the foam. We have 10-foot sections, and we have 6-foot drops, which we'll use for our roof. And then we, like I said, we do the spacers. And you could use brick. You don't have to use these spacers. You could really use regular cement block brick. Just glue it down. We use a company called Grizzly Glue. I'll show you their product real quick. And it's vicious, to be quite honest with you. You just blend water. You put it down and throw water on it. There it is. There's Grizzly Glue. Polyurethane glue, you just throw water on it, and it foams up, and you get this result where it glues the spacer, concrete spacer, to the styrofoam, and it is super strong. No thermal bridging. The only thermal bridging we might have is a little bit is where when the window rests on this seal, there is foam back here, but it'll be all cleaned up. So it's minimal thermal bridging. And this is looking down in the cavity of our window. We do 3 holes, so when we're pouring, we can fill the cavity. Anyway, okay, just want to show you this. I just glued this one and did it by myself. I actually added 4 extra spacers in this one. I don't normally do 9 high by 4 wide spacers. I did 10 on this one, not a big deal. And they don't have to be perfectly straight. You know, that's all. That doesn't have to be. You just get them where they're somewhat close. And I'll go through here in a second and straighten them up if some of them have slipped a little bit. And then you put the brick on top to allow pressure, so when the foam expands, it doesn't push the foam up, the EPS foam. Anyway, that's a jig right here that we have. And then what I'll do is I'll actually clean some spacers over here because my spacers got dirty from sitting. I'll clean enough to do another one, and then all I do is I'll pull these bricks off the top, throw a new sheet of styrofoam down, set the spacers on there and glue them, and I can do about 4 panels. If I want to do 4 panels, I can go 4 panels high, but typically I just do 3. Let those cure, pull them out, glue the strips down for the drywall strips, and then we set them up and erect them. Anyway, just want to kind of give you a breakdown on how we built our ICF walls. Bye.